Today, we're gonna hack your brain. We're gonna follow the story of a law student who was right on the edge of failing. And we'll uncover 4 natural tools that didn't just help her pass her exam, but also revealed a seriously powerful secret to boosting your focus in just 1 hour. No prescription needed. Let's dive in. You know the feeling, right? You've studied for weeks, maybe months. You walk into that big exam, you sit down, you open the paper, and then just nothing. Total blank. It's that terrifying, stomach-dropping moment where all the answers you knew just moments before have completely vanished. Well, that's exactly where our story begins. I want you to meet Amal. She's a brilliant law student, but with her final, career-defining exam just a month away, she was in a full-blown crisis. The pressure was just immense, and her brain felt like it was literally shutting down on her. She couldn't focus, she couldn't remember a thing, and she felt like she was just watching her entire future slip right through her fingers. So, completely desperate, Amal goes to her doctor and basically begs, "Just give me a pill, anything to fix this." She was looking for that magic bullet, that quick fix. But her doctor, after running all the tests and making sure there were no deficiencies, offered her a completely different path, one that didn't start at the pharmacy, but out in nature. The doctor decided to start with a kind of mental triage. Think of it like emergency care for the brain. This wasn't the long-term solution just yet. This was all about stopping the immediate crisis and getting critical resources to Amal's brain, and fast. So what was the first tool? Nitrates. Now, these are natural compounds that act as, well, the fancy term is vasodilators. But all that really means is they help widen your blood vessels. Imagine your brain's blood supply is like a tiny garden hose. Nitrates upgrade that hose to a full-on fire hose, just rushing more blood, more oxygen, and more nutrients right where you need them. It's a performance boost you can feel almost right away. And listen, this isn't just some nice idea. A 2019 study out of New Zealand gave participants a single dose of this stuff. The result? Within just 3 hours. 3 hours! The reaction times and their focus improved significantly. I mean, think about that. The power to get that kind of boost on demand. Okay, so how do you actually get this effect? Well, the number one source is beetroot. If that's not your favorite, no worries. Spinach and arugula are also packed with nitrates. And for a more controlled, precise dose, there's always beetroot extract. But, and I really need you to hear this isn't for everybody. If you have low blood pressure, if you're on certain heart medications, or if you have any kidney problems, you absolutely have to talk to your doctor first. This is crucial. So at this point, Amal kinda looks at her doctor, horrified, and says, "I hate vegetables. Isn't there something, tastier?" So the doctor smiled and moved on to the second tool, which is basically a delicious little bodyguard for your brain. And that bodyguard is the humble blueberry. But this isn't just a fruit you throw in your oatmeal. Some people call it the fruit of perception, and for good reason. It's a super tasty way to protect your brain cells from the stress of those long study sessions and, help you fight that constant urge to procrastinate. The magic ingredient here is a compound called anthocyanin. You can think of it like putting a suit of armor on your brain cells. There was this great UK study in 2021 that found participants who ate blueberries were able to maintain their focus all day long. And get this, they also made significantly fewer errors on cognitive tests. So they weren't just more focused, they were more accurate. Now, to get these benefits, the research points to about 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries, or a cup of wild blueberry juice every day. And yeah, an extract is an option too. But just like before, you gotta do a quick check-in with your doctor, especially if you're on blood thinners or have IBS, because blueberries can sometimes interfere with those conditions. So, Amal leaves the doctor's office with all this amazing natural advice. A month goes by, and then the doctor gets a phone call. It's Amal, and she's in tears. All she could manage to say was one heartbreaking sentence. "I failed." She hadn't followed the advice, and the consequences, well, they were devastating. But that wasn't the end of her story, not by a long shot. Amal got a chance to retake the exam. And this time, something was different. She was determined. She started the beetroot and blueberry plan immediately. And seeing this new commitment, her doctor gave her a third tool, a special pre-exam power-up that the brain absolutely loves. And this third tool, it's something a lot of us already love: chocolate. But hold on, we're not talking about just any candy bar. We're talking about raw cacao. It acts like high-octane fuel for your brain.
It actually increases your thinking speed and helps fight off that mental fog that always seems to set in during really intense work.
So the power here comes from something called flavanols. And to get that real cognitive boost, you have to be specific. We're talking about 30 grams of dark chocolate that's over 85% cacao, or you can use pure unprocessed cacao powder. The timing is also really important. You want to take it about 2 hours before you need to be at your absolute mental peak. And, as always, the warnings matter. Check with a doctor if you have issues with kidney stones, heart palpitations, or bad heartburn. Okay, so Amal was doing everything right this time. She had the beetroot, the blueberries, the cacao. Her focus was definitely better, her memory was sharper. But with just 1 week left until the retake, her doctor gets another message. Doctor, I'm still terrified. The anxiety is just crushing me. She needed one more thing, one final piece to get her across that finish line. And so, the doctor revealed the final piece of this puzzle. Now, this wasn't just another food. It was a powerful, synergistic formula. A combination so effective, it's earned its own name, the AlertCalm. It's designed to do two things at once, quiet the anxiety while sharpening the mind. And here's the absolute genius of this combination. On one side, you've got L-theanine. It's an amino acid that puts you in this state of calm focus. On the other side, you've got good old caffeine, the classic stimulant that gives you alertness. You put them together, and you get the perfect mental state. You're calm, but you're razor sharp. It's all the focus with none of the jitters. The best of both worlds. And you want to know the best part? It works fast. I mean, really fast. A landmark study from 2008 found that this combo produced significant improvements in focus, attention, and the ability to handle complex mental tasks in just 1 hour. 60 minutes. That's all it takes to get into a peak mental state. Now, you can find both of these compounds in green tea. But here's the catch. To get the dose you need for a really powerful cognitive boost, you'd have to drink over 4 cups, which just isn't practical or even healthy for a lot of people. So the more reliable solution is to use a supplement that gives you the right ratio. But please, this combination is potent, so it is absolutely essential to get your doctor's okay if you have any kind of heart rhythm issues, low blood pressure, or if you're pregnant. So what happened to Amal? Well, she added the L-theanine and caffeine to her routine. She walked into that exam room, but this time, it wasn't with terror. It was with this quiet confidence. And the result? She passed. She did it. She finally achieved her goal. And not with some magic pill, but with a smart strategy, completely powered by nature. Amal's whole journey teaches us such a powerful lesson, doesn't it? Medication absolutely has its place, but it's not always the first or only answer. Her story really shows us the power of exploring these natural tools with a professional, because you can often get the result you want, but with way fewer side effects. So now, think about your own life for a second. Think about your own moments of pressure. Whether it's the instant recall you could get from beetroot, the sustained accuracy from blueberries, the fatigue-busting power of cacao, or that incredible focused calm from L-theanine and caffeine, which of these tools could you use to unlock the next level of your own potential? If you found this explainer helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel and maybe share it with a friend who you think might get something out of it too. Thanks so much for your time.